as a foreigner came in and attacked. So that's the way they react. What we do, when we do that, we undermine the dissidents, the opposition. There's a strong opposition over there. We don't need our fingerprint on it. And our CIA is involved in there. We spend about $400 million over there in the last several years trying to undermine their system of government. And we're always involved in these elections. Founders didn't believe in it. A lot of Republicans didn't believe in it a few years ago. Robert Taft didn't believe in it. The old right didn't believe in it. The Constitution doesn't authorize it. It's foolishness. We're bankrupt. And besides, it offers us an opportunity to come around to a sensible approach and come back to taking care of some people and getting back on our feet. But in the meantime, if we cut enough spending, then we can do those other things that we'd like to really stimulate the economy. That is, like, get rid of the IRS and the income tax.
Oh,
And that was one of my proposals, you know, when the economic crisis became apparent. I said, why don't we just, you know, if you won't get rid of it, let's just suspend the income tax. Just think, every individual in the country would have more money in their pocket. It probably would have cost less than these trillions of dollars. I mean, not only did we appropriate the money, but trillions of dollars that the Federal Reserve issued. That would have been a lot cheaper, and everybody would have had, oh yeah, but then you'd have had the chance to make up your own mind. And quite frankly, in Washington, they don't think you're smart enough to know how to spend your money. There was a bill on the floor that had to do with consumer protection. And it was more intervention, make sure that the consumer's protected from the big government, you know. Not with honest money, but by more regulations. And I said, why are you doing this? Why don't you let people make up their own minds when the regulations don't work? He says, they're stupid. He says, the people are stupid. And that's what he told me. And that is what some of them really think, that you don't have enough sense to know how to spend your money and people have to be taken care of. They think that in social things too. That's why we have, you know, the cigarette police and the drug police and the political correctness police and everything on, because you're going to do something wrong and make a wrong decision. Freedom is the opposite thing. Freedom brings people together because it recognizes that your personal life, your personal lifestyle, and your money's your own. And as long as you don't go around beating up on other people, stealing like the government does, then things would be much better. And that's why a freedom movement brings people together. And the Constitution is the basis of our freedom. The Constitution really brings us together. That's why I'm so excited when I do see 100 Democrats sign up on a bill. And there's a lot, in some of our campaign rallies, believe me, a lot of Democrats and a lot of independents show up. I think if the Republican Party wants to get some strength again, they've got to understand, you know, what young people are thinking about and how they look at it economically and how we're dumping on them all the debt and all the regulations and the wars are going on. And they respond favorably. And I am so impressed when they come to the office. I always ask them, what got your interest? They say, the Constitution. You really believe it, don't you? And you really vote that way, don't you? And they like, they just like the idea, and they're very principled. So from that group, I get a lot of encouragement. I am not a pessimist in what can happen, but to keep myself from getting pessimistic, I have to come visit with you folks every once in a while. Because if you're in Washington all the time, I listen to this, oh, those stupid people out there, we gotta take care of them, you know, and the whole work. But there's reason to stay in the fight and keep it going, because if nothing else, out of our own self-interest, our own personal interest, our family interest, and we have to believe and be convinced, know how to explain freedom does work. Very, very popular, and there's nothing, it's the only humanitarian system ever adhered to by man, because all the other systems are authoritarian. They say, we want to go back to the golden age. Oh, you want these guys back. All that, yeah, Ron Paul should be a candidate for this 18th century or something, because that's all old-fashioned. Freedom is a new, modern idea. It's only a couple hundred years old, really been tested. Ushered in the Industrial Revolution. We're on the verge of throwing away. I don't need to tell anybody in Michigan whether you're on the verge of losing. And it's not a failure of capitalism like I like to tell you. It's a failure of big government and a failure to understand, you know, how the market works. So it's an intellectual fight. what you do is up to yourselves. You can do it politically, you can do it educationally, you can do it one-on-one, you can do it by joining groups and supporting candidates. People ask me, what should you do? Well, you do what you want. You just do it. And the most important thing, study the issues, understand them, and feel comfortable with them, because there's always a job for you. And everybody will get a different job, but that'll make the difference. So, but I am delighted to be here and enjoyed visiting with you, and I'll be glad to take questions if you care to.